During the presentation of the new Governor of Kirundo Province, the President of the Republic of Burundi delivered a message to Kirundo population on the virtues of Leta Mvyeyi, a term which has now been familiar to designate his government as a good father of family regarding the plight of Burundian refugees and Burundi's relations with its neighbourhood. The legitimate expectation of all Burundians from the so-called good father government should be to address the integral well-being of the whole population in terms of peace, security, and economic comfort, especially in the context of this message addressed to refugees and to their host country. The President of the Republic of Burundi recalls that every Burundi citizen has the right to live peacefully in his country. He calls on all the refugees taken hostage by those who would be responsible for all the crimes committed since 2015 and their host countries, asking them to hand over these later to Burundi so that they can be judged for their actions. This message would have left more than one perplexed. Who can believe that 500,000 Burundians could leave a peaceful and prosperous country and prefer to live of remains, Kunuranura, in the misery of exile? Would they be responsible for all these crimes that have been committed day by day since they left? And what kind of good father would abandon his children, even if they were prodigal sons, to such a sad fate? Burundians would indeed have liked the government to question the real causes of this deplored situation and endeavour to restore conducive conditions to the return of all parties instead of pleading and taking up the cause for one or the other part. Finally, the President of the Republic of Burundi warned the host countries which would hold the Burundian refugees hostage to be an obstacle to good relations. The Women and Girls Movement for Peace and Security in Burundi remains attached to the values of our culture, which dictates to any good father to work incessantly towards good relations, especially with neighbors, and still hopes that all the allegations of the head of the state will find answers through appropriate diplomatic channels for the greater benefit of states and citizens. Like many other citizens, the Women and Girls Movement for Peace and Security in Burundi believes that it's now the right time for the new and so aptly called Leta Mvyeyi to instigate essential changes for a return to peace, security, and implement all necessary guarantees for refugees' repatriation and other Burundians who are only waiting for these strong signals to provide their contribution and support to the Leta Mvyeyi working government in collaboration with friends and partners to the construction of a better Burundi we all long for. This message is from the Women and Girls Movement for Peace and Security in Burundi.